What's going on, everyone? Welcome to QVO Games. My name is Juan. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much. This video is going to be about the games coming to retail like on Monday, March 3rd. If you notice, the biggest thing here is I'm not in my studio currently. I am filming this video in my hotel room in Louisville, Kentucky. I'm currently at Gamma, and this is going to be, the video is being filmed basically an hour before, only because I was really busy over the weekend, so I couldn't really film this video, so I plan to do it here. And it's working out. I think the setting and the lighting is not too bad, and a different view for you guys as well. Awesome. I want to get into the games quickly just because I want to make this a quick video for you so you get your weekly update. Some really cool games. I am really excited for some of these games, and one of these specific games I think is going to be around for a long time. It's a TCG. Let's get this video going. Keep in mind, I'm covering the games coming to retail in the US. Last thing to keep in mind, if a game's retail release date changes, I'll make sure to update you about that change in its new respective video. First things first, let's start off with some cool games. Coming out this week is going to be Rats of Wistar. Rats of Wistar is a game bike from Capstone Games, and it's a worker placement, rondel worker placement style game with a really cool theme. I usually not about like the whole mice rodent thing or like the rats thing, but I do love the essence of this game. You're basically ratscaping, you're building your own land, right? You're creating new inventions, and as you're creating these inventions, you're kind of housing in different rats and bringing in like runaway or escapee rats, essentially, who were in homes and such like that. It's a worker placement style game, really straightforward. That's a really common thing. I think the theme and the way the board looks is so cool. I love how this looks, and it really brought me in. I'm going to scroll down a little bit more. There's, of course, the Seal of Excellence from Dice Tower. You're going to be building beds. You're going to play a role as 4 rats who organize escape from a lab, and you'll have to lead your family to prove that you are the most deserving of leading the entire colony. You're going to be building beds. You're going to excavate rooms. You're going to be going like on missions kind of thing, which is going to be like kind of other player objectives or secret player objectives, and you're going to be getting points, of course. I like this. It reminds me of the game's leaving my head. There's a previous game that I talked about before that I can't remember at the moment, but the game itself, it reminds me of a Euro worker placement game where you're kind of like escaping from like a Fallout environment, right? Like a Fallout environment would be like a nuclear war environment. That's the game I'm talking about. I forgot it was called exactly, but this is what it reminds me of a lot, especially the player board, the game board itself, the whole worker placement system. It looks really neat. I really, really want to try it. I really want to play it. I hope I can find a copy or someone has a copy so I can try it out at least once. This is Rats of Wistar by Capstone Games coming out to you this week. Moving on to the next game is going to be Rainbow Bunny Pop by Rainbow Rabbit Games. This is a small card game, a little fun family card game as well. I'll see if I can find some pictures for you actually. Well, it's going to be the one up here, it's in top left. This game comes out to you on March 6th, keep that in mind. This Rainbow Bunny Pop game is going to be a game, it's going to be a real-time, fast-playing game, and you're going to be trying to build out a rainbow in your cards here. You're going to grab one of these sorted card decks, right, and you're going to flip them over, and as you flip them over, you want to stack as fast as you can, making a sequence of rainbows, a sequence in the color of the rainbow. First player to get through their hand wins. That's really it. It's a really fast-paced playing game, usually kid and family friendly as well, or even newbies to board games and new to tabletop games usually enjoy these games a lot, only because it's really easy. The barrier to entry is not too big. There's no rule overheads. It's just quick and easy to go through. This is going to be Rainbow Bunny Pop coming out to you on March 6th. Moving on to Harrow County by Off the Page Games coming out to you on March 6th. Off the Page Games brought to you a really, really fun and cool deduction game not deduction, it's more like hidden trader game, like a hidden movement game almost, it's called Mind Management, MGMT, which is based off of a really cool graphic novel. Harrow County is another copy by them, and this game was on crowdfunding. Now it's coming out to you retail. This is going to include different factions, 14 different playable characters, and as well as in the game, you're going to have a third player who plays as Hester the Witch and controlling the roots of the tree and such. It kind of brings in a little bit like gothic horror style game, and it's 1 to 3 players. You can play 4 players if you buy the Fairfolk expansion. Keep that in mind. I'm going to scroll down a little bit here to show you some pictures. Really, really interesting game. This game very borderline reminds me of Root, with an easier pathway to entry, and also different, like, it's like the rules are a little bit different enough and easier to understand, in my opinion. In Root, I feel like you're teaching so much with each different faction. However, keep in mind, I do love Root, by the way. I love playing Root. If you ever want to play Root on like the mobile or online, I would love to play with you. I love playing Root. I'm not very good at it though, but I do love playing it. So back to Harrow County, and yeah, you're basically playing as different factions. Your goal is to get as many points as possible by diverting your influence, and then going up against like having that conflict or battling with your other players. Very straightforward game, however lots of strategy and easy to pick up. That's the biggest thing about this game that's really neat. I really want to play this game. I have not gotten the chance to, but it looks so cool. There are so many reviews, so much content coverage on this game. Go through it all and find out if it's a game for you, if something you want to play. For me, I am pumped. I'm a big fan of off-the-page games, and I do love mind management so much. So can't wait to try this game out. This is Harrow County, the game of Gothic Conflict, coming out to you on March 6th by Off the Page Games. Moving on to Colorfield by 25th Century Games, coming out to you on March 6th. Colorfield is a very straightforward game. This game was on crowdfunding. Now it's coming out to you to retail. I cannot speak today. I think it's like the jitteriness and the excitement of being here at GAMA. I'm so pumped to film this video, post it, and just be out there talking and being part of the festivities with everybody. Colorfield. This is going to be an abstract style game. You're going to be going in with abstract painting tiles, right? And let me show you how those look like. They're going to look like so here. And you're going to try your best to connect the tiles in a matching series of paintings on your canvas. The edge of the tiles, you're going to connect them with other ones, and your goal is to match and group up as many as you can in a specific way to get a lot of points. The whole thing, right, when you're putting them down. It looks pretty neat, very straightforward tile placement game. I like it. I like it a lot. I want to try it out at least once or twice. 25th Century Games does put out a lot of great titles, so I wouldn't doubt this one's just as good as the last few. So, Colorfield. Straightforward, nothing much about it, abstract. The game is played over 3 rounds. Person with the most points at the end of the game wins the game. This is Colorfield by 25th Century Games, coming out to you on March 6th. Moving on to Kingdom Rush Elemental Uprising by Lucky Duck Games, coming out on March 8th. This game is a really big, I like this game. This theme I like a lot, the Kingdom Rush theme. The main reason why. I love the mobile defense game. So this Kingdom Rush, from my understanding, this Kingdom Rush board game is probably based off the mobile game, which is like an app style game, a tower defense game. It was one of the first, it's maybe like one of the first tower defense games that I fell in love with. I'm a big fan of tower defense games, like the mobile games and such, and like balloon popping games, all those, the monkey balloon ones online. I love tower defense games. Kingdom Rush is on the app stores on your mobile phones, and you can play them through that. It's so cool. I love Kingdom Rush. So I have really high expectations for this game, because I hope they capture the essence of good Kingdom Rush was to me, and they kind of do, because I've read the rule books and I have the copy at home. By the way, I just have to read the rule book again because it's been a long time. Kingdom Rush Elemental Uprising is going to be a standalone sequel to Kingdom Rush Rift of Time, which is the first of this game. However, keep in mind, you don't need both copies to play the game. You can play the first one or this one. They're 2 separate titles. However, it's a sequel. In this game, you're going to go through and you're going to have, of course, the monsters in typical tower defense fashion coming down through a pathway, and you're going to be putting like polyomino style tiles down with your troops, and also your towers are going to defend against these monsters. Very cool miniatures, I will say, and they do capture the essence of like a lot of the bosses from the app in this, which is like, of course, I've seen all these guys in the apps. I played every single Kingdom Rush game, unless there's a new one that came out in the last 2-3 months, because I just got done playing one that came out recently in the last 6 months. And they do capture it really well. I mean, these miniatures look excellent, and it does, like, even like the rounder edges of the characters, if you paint them and such like that, it's just, the sculpture captures it so well. There's so many. This actually, I want to show you this actually. They do capture also like the heroes that you can play as. You have like a little hero who stands there, and he does like different abilities. That's super awesome. I love that. There are not many, I think, tower defense board games that do tower defense well for me in board gaming. So I'm really excited to try this one at least. And I do have a copy at home, and I will be posting some content about it because I am such a big fan. I love the Kingdom Rush series. And this is going to be you can play this in scenarios or a campaign. It's either or. I would prefer always the campaign style. I love that. But of course, after you finish the campaign, you want to go back and try a scenario. You certainly can do that, I'm sure. Kingdom Rush Elemental Uprising, coming out to you on March 8th by Lucky Duck Games. Moving on to Star Wars Unlimited by Fantasy Flight Games, coming out to you on March 8th. There has been a lot of pre-release events for this already, so you may already have your hands on some Star Wars stuff. Star Wars Unlimited cards for the TCG. There's been a very in Las Vegas at least, the TCG community has like blown up about this game. Every event was sold out. There's so much coverage on this as well, like from like not coverage exactly. There's so much hype about this game going on right now, and I got to try it one time and I thought it was pretty neat. I thought it was a pretty good TCG. I just wonder the TCG space is so finicky of what sticks and what doesn't stick. You just never know. So I wonder if it's going to stick the way it is. As of right now, there is a lot of buzz around Star Wars Unlimited. So I hope Fantasy Flight can like grab onto that and push it forward. So in Star Wars Unlimited, you're going to have, it's TCG, it's a card game. You're going to build a deck. It has to be a minimum 50. There is no max, and you're going to have the air fights going on. So you have like your Millennium Falcon, your Y-wing, your X-wing, all that stuff up in the air. Then you have your ground troops, and of course there's 2 separate battlefields. So the ground troops usually can't hit the flying units unless there's some kind of specific word that's going to tell you that you can or can't do that. I didn't use those cards when I played my pre-release. I had a lot of removal cards, like blaster cards that just kind of dealt damage to everything. That was my method or strategy of removing the air troops. And then you're going to have your base. Your base is going to be how you determine if you do win or lose the game. Your whole goal is to destroy the enemy base, and your bases can have 30 life points, 25 life points, depending on what kind of ability you have. The ability can be kind of strong, so they kind of balance out the strength of your ability by deducting you 5 health points or a specific amount of health points depending on what ability you have. Pretty interesting card game with the sense of like having the ground, the air, your cards in your hand, typical style of like other card games that came out recently. The cards in your hand you're going to be putting down as energy or like kind of as a resource, and when you put it down as a resource, you kind of exhaust it, and when you exhaust it, you're going to be using to pay for your other cards. And on top left, you see the amount it costs to pay for those cards. It's like a 3 gold, 2, 3. That's how much resources. And then on top of that, you also have a leader. But your leader comes out when you achieve a specific amount of resources. It's like Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, all the famous characters from Star Wars. Pretty straightforward. I think it's cool. It was a fun game. The thing about TCGs usually for me is like they're a really big money pit. So when you jump in, it can be I only choose to jump into 1, 2, or 1 or 2, and then the rest I just kind of go light. I buy like a starter deck and like make a deck, and that's where I call it. And then there's of course some games where I went all the way in and now I'm like deep. And I'll talk more about that in the channel later because we're going to start expanding into TCGs a little more. This is Star Wars Unlimited coming out to you on March 8th by Fantasy Flight Games. And we're at the end of the video. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for making this far. I appreciate it so much that you've watched the whole video. That helps the channel grow in many ways, and we've been doing that a lot. We have a lot of new subscribers. I'm not sure where everyone's coming from, but I'm really excited. We're growing this community, and this video series is blowing up and getting the word out to more people. So that means growing our space. So thank you for watching the video, and if you're new to this channel, I always end the video by asking you to leave a comment down below and let me know if you're picking up any of these games this week, or maybe you've been saving up to buy a game that you have been thinking about buying previously. Let me know what you write in the comment section below. Thank you for watching the video. I appreciate it. Have a good one.